All right, so guys, welcome back. Now, uh, I just stopped recording the other video that I just posted. I want to talk about some transfer news in this episode, in this video, basically. So I'm just gonna go through some Instagram posts that I have saved, some websites that I have that have some transfer rumors going on about Galatasaray, Fenerbahçe, Beşiktaş, Trabzonspor, and Süper Lig in total. So I'm gonna make like a this video as a whole summary of Süper Lig basically. So we have interest in Bremer from Juventus, and I think he's a good player. He's a very good defender, but I don't know if it's a good thing to go for uh, a very injury-prone player that's going to be getting a very big contract. I'm pretty sure because he does make a good amount of money at Juventus. I'm pretty sure. So it's kind of dangerous, and I think this is because I'm gonna go into this now. I think this is because the Lemina stuff that's been going on that I've been hearing, Mario Lemina, is I don't think our board is actually considering to sign him. And I'm gonna do this in my other video that I'm gonna make of the how we should make the team, how tactically we should play, and like who should be on the team and stuff like that. I think Lemina is definitely someone we have to keep on this team because he could play our CDM role very good. Amazing ball stopper. He can cut off attacks. He can, tackling is amazing. His defense is amazing at the central defensive role, and in the midfield he holds it down for us. Uh, and what I want to say is that like sometimes when he plays center back, he is kind of better than Davinson Sanchez at right center back, and maybe better than Abdülkerim Bardakçı. He doesn't have the same continuation like Abdülkerim, but like when Davinson is not playing good or he's having a bad form in the past couple of weeks, I feel like we could play Mario Lemina like definitely in that right center back role, and I don't know. I think it's a very big deal that not re-signing Mario Lemina is going to cost us. I'm pretty sure, even though he's gonna be it's a problem because he's what do you call it, the 10+4 rule that is in Super League. He's kind of old, so he gets into the 10, and we're limited to only having 10 foreign players that are any age. So that's something that I think the board is talking about, and that's what they don't really want. But at that point, I feel like we can maybe look to sell Singo and get like a right back, like a backup Shalai instead of having above the 2003 or older, the 10 players. Like Singo can be definitely sold. I feel like Jakobs can be sold, and I'm gonna show all of these in the the team that I kind of want to happen. But of course, it's like not up to me because the board thinks differently. They think about player relationships that I don't know about, of course. But I do think like Shalai could be the right back. I feel like we could get a Turkish right back that backs him up. And then the left back role, like where Jakobs and Singo get sold, the left back role goes to this one under 2003 player or younger player that I've been like very high on, and he just got relegated in the Premier League. I'm gonna show in the next video, but I feel like we should be getting him, and then Line Kazımcan kind of backing him up, but it's probably not gonna happen. And after these, I just want to read this. They're saying that we're gonna kind of go on the gas pedal now. Go faster with the transfers because the new season it will be starting. I think in like less than a month. They're saying that they want to stop looking for the loan stuff and actually put money into transfers, which we should have been doing. I feel like John Luzon should have been here already like a couple weeks ago. We should have signed him. uh Fenerbahçe signing Greenwood, they're signing Vedat Muric and all that, and Beşiktaş signing Trossard and maybe Mohamed Salah now. I'm not really sure, but we should have had John Luzon. I feel like in the bag already, even though it's like a 60 million what do you call it, price tag that they want for him. I think we could lower it definitely to like a maybe like a 45, 50 with some add on or something like that, or like a uh percentage afterwards if we do sell him. We have to pay to Frankfurt, but I don't know what's gonna happen about that. And then yeah, this is also talking about Mario Lemina maybe not re-signing, which is very sad. In my opinion, I think we have to be re-signing this type of player for the team that could play a very physical number 6 on the team. In front of the defenders, and in the midfield, he's a very good player, and he could also play the center back role very, very good, very elitely. Even though he's not actually a center back, he can maybe play it better than Davinson sometimes. And I also saw this. Okan Buruk, gave a, he talked to someone in a studio, and he talked about saying Abdülkerim's going to be the main captain now since Icardi left, and Osimhen's going to be the second captain, I'm pretty sure, or one of the captains at least. And then this is the website where I kind of want to just talk about some of these transfer rumors that are going on. We have this Can Uzun that was just 2 hours ago reported. Sometimes they're not 100% true. Actually, I wouldn't really say true. I would just say they are true, but they're from little sources, and they're Galatasaray just got into contact, or they added him onto a list, basically, is what's going on every single time that there's something that's popping up on this page. And let's see what they're talking about. Can Uzun, the sporting director for Eintracht Frankfurt, has commented on Can Uzun, who has been linked with Galatasaray according to Crochet. There is currently no indication whatsoever that Can Uzun wants to leave them. So this is a very big problem, because I've been hearing a lot about Can Uzun actually wanting to come, and it might be false now. So I don't know what we're going to be doing there. There's one in Amin Neguri. We're just monitoring it, of course. Look, this is it's a minor news that was also posted 7 hours ago. Just we're monitoring him. He's on the list for Galatasaray. I heard about this guy. Instead of Lemina, we're thinking about him. He's under the 2003. He's younger than 2003, so he could be the +4 in the 10+4 rule in Super League. And it's just kind of talking about his career a little bit, because this is the first news that's ever been linked with Galatasaray. And then we talked about the Bremer situation, and then I think now Ponomarenko is definitely going to become our second choice striker, or maybe third if we get another striker / a wing or someone like that, like Matisse Tell that I keep talking about. So I don't know what's going to be happening here, but I did look up some stats on Ponomarenko and all that. There's a very nice stats page that you could compare. There's a chart and stuff that I might make a video on about some new transfers in Super League and all that, and comparing all the big 4 teams by position and all that. But I want some of the transfers to kind of become clear, if Salah's gonna come, or if I'm gonna put Cherny from Besiktas into that right wing role while I'm comparing. So that's why. But I did look at him on that stats thing. I didn't really watch any of his matches. I didn't see a lot of him, but he does look promising. He's 20 years old. He's young. Promising player. I hope he does good. I hope we do get him actually. And this John Duran one, I don't know what they're talking about, but this is 14 hours ago. I just saw Fabrizio Romano and everybody talking about that he went to Benfica on loan or something like that. And then this Davinson Sanchez to Como, I don't think it's going to be happening, because Como is actually not trying to pay up the big price that's on his head that we put, because we don't really want to get rid of him. But if we do, I think the Bremer is definitely going to be a real option, and it might actually happen, or a Van Dijk or someone like that. But I don't really think we should be getting rid of Davinson for Bremer or Van Dijk, because Van Dijk's very old. There's something called Bluetooth defending that he does, and it's been looking very bad this last year. And Bremer is just very injury prone. So Davinson Sanchez and Lemina, I feel like that right center back role is definitely like a amazing thing that we would have if we do re-sign Lemina and don't let go of Davinson. And then Enciso, I'm not really high on him. He's a very good dribbler, very very good dribbler. But I feel like that's all he does add. That carrying thing. From the midfield to the third section of the field. So I don't really know about that. Joao Gomes, I feel like is someone we should be looking for. We should be trying to get. But I feel like every single time we look for a midfielder that is, you know, above the age of, past 2003, older than 2003, is we're gonna be, letting go of Gabriel Sara if that does happen, something like that. So I'm scared of that. I feel like Gabriel Sara can stay maybe, but we're gonna look into that as well later. And then I'm just gonna go quickly through these. Ugo Chukwu has completed the loan deal. With the option to buy, I think, or the obligation to buy. We're looking at Bertu Yildirim. I think he's a decent striker that we can be getting. I feel like that we should be actually getting Bertu and Ponomarenko together, maybe. Running them, seeing them, who's gonna be the better second option, basically, and then keep the other guy as a third option. But I feel like it might become a problem. I feel like striker is really hard to keep three people happy, because if it's two, if you get a younger version of someone, and like Osimhen is like the first striker, they're gonna accept that. They're gonna be like, okay, I want to show myself every time I come in. But the third one is just gonna be sitting there. So I don't really know if it's a really good idea to get really like decent second and third options. That's why I was saying Ada Yüzgeç in my previous video. I was saying, Ada Yüzgeç should definitely be the third striker of this team, and he still plays in the academy matches. Brahim Diaz, I feel like would be an amazing addition as a number 10. He could back up left wing, right wing, maybe play striker sometimes, but I don't think we would play him striker. And yeah, I'm just gonna close this now and then just quickly look at these. This is also another just rumor, transfer rumors on Transfermarkt. It's pretty much who we've been talking about a lot. Matisse Tell is who I'm really interested in, actually, because he's younger than the age of 2003 and younger. He fits into that 10 plus, the plus 4 role of the 10 plus 4 rule in Super League. He can back up the left wing, back up the striker role. So I feel like he's a very good signing if we do get him. Foden, I'm not really high on him currently. So I mean, he would be an amazing cam though, I think. But I gotta watch a little bit of Foden. I haven't been watching Manchester City matches that much, that often, so I don't really know. And then quickly now, I'm just gonna go into Fenerbahçe, Beşiktaş, Trabzonspor, and the rest of the Super League transfer rumors. Um, I'm hearing that Matt Mulder, well, right here it says that Roma are actually interested because Zeki Çelik actually went to Juventus. I think just today. That would be a really nice move for Roma, because they do trust some Turkish players on their team sometimes. And as a Galatasaray fan, I feel like Matt Mulder was a very critical role of our World Cup, even though we were really really bad. I feel like he gave it all his all, and I think that the fans of Fenerbahce actually don't really like him that much for some reason. I don't know why, but it's a good thing for Galatasaray that Matt Mülders actually would move to Roma, in my opinion. And then Amin Guri, whoever is linked with Galatasaray gets linked with Fenerbahce. I don't know. It's always like that. Let's just see who's interesting here. Wow, Paul Onuachu. Interested in Paul Onuachu, Trabzonspor striker. Wow, Trabzonspor's putting a 30 million price tag on to Fenerbahce. And then Al Hilal is actually trying to pursue him as well. He's a 32-year-old striker. 30 million is definitely a lot for someone that has improved himself in the Prem and all that. Big top 5 leagues. But he has proved himself in Trabzonspor, and I do love him a lot. He's a very good striker, but 30 million is a bit too much. And I would love to have him as a second striker, next to Osimhen, but we're not going to be going for 32-year-olds in a 30 million price tag. Is too much, definitely. And then just quickly looking through this, what's important. I heard Ollie Watkins is very close because I heard Sergio Garasi is actually not going to be happening. So yeah, that's pretty much what like found out what's going to be happening and all that. This is pretty much the same stuff as well. And then Besiktas, Salah looks like he's coming to a close at Liverpool. Actually, he's a free agent, I'm pretty sure, and that Besiktas are actually going to be getting him, which is it's a really really big transfer for Super League, definitely, because he's the best Premier League player of all time. But he is like what, 34 years old, something like that. So, or 35. He's kind of old. So in Super League he's gonna be amazing. But is he gonna be able to compete? I don't know. And last year we did see Jakobs lock him up like 2 to 3 times. So I don't know what's gonna be happening with Salah. He'll probably do really good though, because Super League's way easier than the Prem. And then over here, I'm just gonna kind of skip through the Besiktas. Besiktas already finished their big transfers. I'm just gonna look at their transfers real quick just to get a refresh. They did Trossard. Wait, let's see. This season. They finished up Trossard. They got Ouattara at left back. They got Nubel. I looked at Nubel's stats graph compared to Urjan, actually. And Nubel looks like a crazy goalkeeper. I had never seen him, but I will be seeing him, of course, when the league starts. But I think this is a really good transfer for 6.25 million as well. It's a crazy transfer. I also watched a little bit of İlhan Fakılı. He looks like a decent little left back, or left wing, sorry. And Trossard as a left wing is going to be pretty good for Arsenal. I think we would have liked Trossard for our team, to be honest. Definitely, rotating between Barış and Trossard on the left, and then Barış and Sane and Yunus on the right wing, basically. Doğan Alemdar is a backup. Salih Özcan. Salih Özcan hasn't played a lot in the last 2 seasons on Dortmund, and I think he was on Wolfsburg. But the thing about him is that for some reason he keeps himself very ready, especially for the Turkish national team. And he looks very good for the Turkish national team every single time that he plays for some reason. But for Dortmund and Wolfsburg, the minimal minutes that he did play, he didn't look that crazy. But I think he's gonna be, there's gonna be some sort of revival with him at Besiktas, so that's exciting to see in the league. And then quickly going to Trabzonspor news, I heard they got Cengiz Kaçar as well. They got oh wow, they're going for Ponomarenko as well. Wow. Let me read into this real quick. We're interested in signing Ponomarenko. Have I been? Oh, okay. Wait. Okay, no, they're not going for him. Okay. Well, that's a good thing for us, because these young stars that Trabzon find, we also try to go for nowadays, because we do know that Trabzonspor's what do you call it? Scout person is or their scout team is amazing. I think their head scout guy did leave them just a week ago, and I hope that we can kind of get him, if unless a big European team comes in and says like we want you to work for us. But that scout guy is a pretty good scouter. And then nothing crazy going on. I heard Oluwai is, I think, gonna be going to, yeah, he's going to Fiorentina, which is sad for our league, but good for him, of course. Going to a top Italian team, top half of the Italian teams, even though they were in the race to get relegated last year. But it's a good step for his career, definitely. But I think he's a really good player. Prestiani, I think this kind of fell through. I don't know what happened with that. And then I just want to talk about Aral Şimşir real quick. Actually, this is gonna be very, very like. I don't really want to rant on Galatasaray's board right now, but in this video, but Aral Şimşir, in my opinion, should have been definitely bought, just because of the 10+4 rule that we have currently in the Super League. definitely because he's 24-year-old winger that put up a crazy stat line last year in the Denmark league, even though he was also playing in Europa League, which is actually very amazing. I think they made the quarterfinals or the semifinal in Europa League, but we should have definitely got him. He could have definitely taken that left wing role from Barış Alper. Barış Alper maybe could have shifted to the right if Sane's not in on his day and stuff like that. What we do with Longa and Barış Alper left and right. But I was really really sad to see that we did not go in and try to get Aral Şimşir, and I feel like it's gonna happen with Oğuz Aydın again. Like the same thing that happened with Oğuz Aydın is happening with Aral Şimşir. Oğuz Aydın is someone we should have bought at the time, like 2-3 seasons ago, for that 6 or 7 million. That's a stupid joke. 6 to 7 million offer from Alanyaspor that we saw it was too much, and Fenerbahce swooped in and got him. I was kind of sad to see that, and even though his Fenerbahce career hasn't been crazy, just because of the managers coming in and out, and some managers don't like him, some managers do like him, and they do want to use him. I've always admired him on the national team, and I always, whenever I do watch him play, I feel like he's a really good player, and I feel like it's gonna be the same with Aral Şimşir as well. Aral Şimşir definitely has a way higher potential than Oğuz Aydın, but it was a very bad thing what we did with Oğuz Aydın, and it's the same thing happening with Aral Şimşir. I don't know why we never give what do you call it? We don't give into someone like Turkish players' potentials. We don't like try to find a really good Turkish player and then build them up for some reason like we used to. And then just quickly going into Başakşehir, even though they don't really have a lot, I think they got Emin Bayram, I heard. So I'm just gonna skip that real quick. Emin Bayram's a decent little center back. I think he's definitely better than Ardunya and Metehan Baltacı are currently at our team. And then, oh wow, Van Drongelen unsuccessful to Trabzonspor. He looks like he's going to be at Panathinaikos. Wow. Okay. I'm just gonna skip through this too because I don't think Samsun is making a lot of crazy moves, and neither is Göztepe, I guess. So that's gonna be the end of the video. So I'll see you guys soon.